We are doing the Cogmind speedrun races. We haven't done this for a while because scheduling happened, beta 7 pre-release and release happened, but we are doing it again. Right now we have 2 racers, but Malthesis is not feeling up to streaming at the moment, so we have only 1 stream. If more people join, we will and are willing to stream, we will go back to the usual 2 streamer layout. Also, we are getting, we got an ad there for a bit. Oh well. Melt reports that he reached -9 in 45 turns. Nice. Since we have only 1 streamer, and so there's no issue with stream commentary leaking between runs, I might actually see if I can turn the stream audio on. Hang on.
Okay. Let's slap on one of these.
Alright, so now we can hear Decinum too. At least for now.
Nope.
If this becomes a problem, I'll change it back, but people have said that they want to hear the game sounds and such if possible, and right now it is possible, so here we go.
Ooh, prototype flight. That is the kind of thing I want to see.
Prototype flight is always nice in these.
Question now is, where the hell is the way out?
Botnets, yeah, botnet's not working.
For some reason. Yikes, 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 yikes. I don't want to go that way.
Also, since we do have
like
the game sounds on,
so I'll go even though there's swarmers.
do let me know if there's any relative volume issues.
No exit.
Melt reports that he reached -8 at 142 turns.
Okay.
We see Decinum has reached it at 121 turns.
At 121. Cool. Oh. Hi, Evan. Didn't realize you were watching. I'm speedrunning this incredibly obscure but quite fun game.
So
I'm competing against some friends on a Discord server, but none of them are streaming right now. So it appears to be just me. Oh, okay, never mind. I thought he blew off my flight.
Decinum appears to have viewers on his channel, which was nothing wrong with that. Nice. More people hearing about the game.
Put me in there. Aw, man.
Aww.
That's
Wound up in storage. That might be trouble on one improved light unit.
Oh, yikes.
But there might be nice goodies in storage.
Heat sink.
And it could take recycling. So it might work out.
Well, maybe I'll find my way out.
Hello, Bug Sniper. Bug Sniper says hi.
It can always happen. Okay, this game is just not nice to me today.
How are you, Bug Sniper? Bug Sniper says, I see you're racing against Decinum. I am not actually in any race myself. Mouth is racing against Decinim at the moment, but Mouth is not streaming today.
Those could have come from, and one of them is...
So instead, we have just Decinim on stream at the moment because nobody else is streaming.
This is... Yikes. Ah, shoot. This is probably the garrison. And not the
I'm glad you're doing okay, though.
Even garrison? I'm not particularly sure.
Mouth says, I wish I wasn't playing this in a race. I found a goodie that I've almost never found on the floor before. I'm not sure if that's like some rare interesting part that we might wind up seeing on stream, or if that's going to be just something that happened to not already be in his gallery.
I'm gonna die.
Destiny was saying he's gonna die. This is going extremely poorly for him, because he lost all his flight and wound up having to backtrack through a ton of enemies and lose a ton of core.
Well,
Bug Sniper says, looks like you're naked now. Yes, Destinim is quite naked now, and at very low core, and storage is extremely enemy dense.
Yikes. Yeah. Okay. And I'm dead.
Yep.
Wow. That's...
Ouch.
Wow. I died.
Hey, more. Yes, you joined at an exciting point indeed.
Huh. Well. For the sake of the stream, I will start over, but that's pretty sad, honestly. Huh. Storage was not kind to me at all. Well, that's just life. Okay.
Yes, hopefully we will see more with this second go.
Well, I'm not really sure how legitimate anything is at this point, considering I know exactly where I'm going now. And by that I mean...
Mora says, wow, this spawn is hilarious. Yeah.
This is literally the same thing I did last time.
Well, it might be the same thing you did last time, but it's a lot quicker this time because you see, Destiny knows what's coming.
Well, at least I know where not to go.
Already back to -8. The prototype launcher is still nice, just like don't wind up in storage this time. Bug Sniper says, I'm not sure if it's fair to play after you've seen the seed. So this second run that we're currently watching isn't actually going to be like counted as a race score or anything. The race score will be from the first run, the one that we just saw die in storage. But because we don't have another streamer, without Decinim starting over, we don't have anything to watch or anyone from whose perspective to see the later floors. And so like that's the only reason he started over.
Hey, that's
That, I think, is also storage.
Weapon shielding, what do I care about?
But yeah, he's not playing for score anymore. It's just for the stream.
It's storage again? Oh, that's just terrible luck. If I die a second time, I'm gonna be so mad.
So commenting, the reason I knew it was storage is because it didn't match the pattern for materials main exits. Materials main exits have a very consistent pattern.
It'll happen too.
Where the way you commonly see them as
I'm
this dead
trying.
end in a 3 wide hallway is like the only way they generate.
Oh, thank the
And
Lord. Okay, it's all the way. Yeah, I wasn't gonna get there anyway, wasn't I?
so it's the only way they generate, and sometimes other rooms or open spaces or hallways and so forth are generated like into them. And so you see things that look different in the end, but you can identify their origins as that. If it's not something that came from that pattern, it's going to be a branch, and so that's how I knew.
Nope, not that way. I hit a trap anyway. What? Forgot about this. No reason for me to do anything other than get the free lore.
That's a nice event. In this case, I would almost have activated the bots just to help keep them alive, but they had high enough core this time that wasn't really an issue.
I mean, okay.
Prototype 2-slot launcher is very interesting.
-6 at, what is that, or -7 at 209. Okay. Well, now we're back on the track of actually doing a speedrun because I have no idea what's going on anymore. Just like normal.
Mouth reports that he's reached -7 at 262 turns. Says he failed the storage skip, but he's still alive, so it's actually like a run counting towards the race. And I believe that his won just by reaching the furthest depth.
Okay, that's actually kind of lucky.
Regardless of whether he wins the run in game or not, he's won the race. Actually, I should probably note that.
And off we go. Oh wait, that's something actually really useful. Yes. Oh no.
Here you go.
I'm gonna go down here first. Or get unlucky and run into a patrol. Either way.
Bug Sniper says, lately I've been playing with Unstable Evolution, so I'm motivated to make more interesting builds. That is definitely like an interesting challenge because you have to work with the slots you get rather than picking. I imagine it makes things a lot harder, especially like to plan across floors.
This is not working out so well, huh? heck, Complex? I guess I have to go through this big room over there. That's, oh, it's not a wall. Nice. It's just a guardian. And an empty room, right? No, it's not an empty room. Thank God. Oh, a hacker now? Really?
Bug Sniper says it does make things harder. Last game I went for the rip and got killed by behemoths in the garrison. Ow. Yeah, we're still figuring out garrisons.
Oh, come on.
Interesting that Destin passed up the long-range sensor array, which would have been pretty useful for getting info where to avoid enemies and figure out more about the map.
Spot me through the machine, but evidently I know nothing.
Bug Sniper also says, and before then my flight build didn't have the 2 engines it needed.
My luck is not coming through in this run. Exit maybe? Yes. Get me out of here. Alright. Well.
Bug Sniper says, maybe I should try to speedrun this seed too. If you want to join, we could have another race. This one has mostly been less than interesting because of the lack of racers rather than because there's like anything about the seed.
Well. Can't fault me for not trying. And that is a garrison. You know, the funny thing is, I could have maybe gone into a garrison. Huh. Is it 5? No. Okay, that's bad luck. Get me out of here. Okay, there we go. Oh no.
Caves.
Caves too. My luck is not the best right now. Okay. Okay, unaware outpost to the south. Let's just run right around it. I don't want anything to do with them.
Bug Sniper reports that he is joining this race. Not sure if it would be an official time since he was hanging out and seeing at least the first few levels.
It's gotta be in here somewhere. Okay. I feel like it's gonna be down here. But maybe not. Huh. There it is. Okay. What am I? Okay, neutrino core. Don't want that. Okay. Let's see if I can't find the factory exit. Please be like right here. Come on. You gotta be around here somewhere. There it is. Nope. Not today, buddy. Huh. Okay, we might actually start over if we get more races, it seems. Let me see what's going on. Okay. Cool. We're gonna get one more steamer, so that means I'm gonna abort this one, unfortunately. Alright. Cool. I'll get that seed in a moment.
Yeah, so new seed coming shortly. Hello, Eternal Mage. How are you? Yeah, so this is no longer relevant. And we will swap from full screen to
Alright, we got the new seed and we're ready to go. Experimental quantum injector.
Eternal Mage says, "Am well enough. If you are not aware, I'm a Byron." Yes, I am aware.
Yep, that's how you spell things.
I just figured I wasn't sure whether you wanted to be referred to by your username on Twitch or by your username on the Discord.
Hey, buddy pal. Come on.
So we've updated the seed display.
Every single game. I don't know why I bother trying to set up a bot now on 4-0 or -10 or whatever.
I am also going to turn the games sounds from the individual streams off shortly once we actually get to streams. Bug Sniper says he's trying to get the Android Twitch app so that he can talk through that.
Let's do it, boys. Oh well. Maybe we try. Oh, come on, bud. No, please.
Eternal Mage says, I guess it makes a ton of sense to go on core for the start of -10. I should really have been doing that. Yeah, it's not super intuitive for people who are used to playing normally, because normal play you want as much coverage as possible. You want to actually use your parts, but at the start of the game, core hover is by far the fastest propulsion you have access to. Mouth reports he reached -9 at 40 turns.
Bit of a yikes. I swear, I'm gonna die again, and it's gonna be real sad. Maybe I've lost my touch with speedrunning.
Eternal Mage says, I meant for playing normally. You are only giving up one rifle worth of coverage. I mean, I think that normally you...
Still faster like this.
Yeah, I think normally you want to actually have your storage on so that you can carry everything, which itself puts you over the mass limit, and you want 2 weapons, and you want your engine, and only a light ion engine can be carried on core. If you get the regular one, then it's not going to work, and so forth.
It's getting a bit ridiculous. Please. Thank God.
Says, I thought light engine was guaranteed, is it not? No. Not as far as I know. I'm pretty sure it's possible to get 2 regular ion engines, which is perfectly functional for normal play because you're also guaranteed the propulsion to wear them.
2 of them,
says, I thought Scrapyard spawn was one small and one random. No, I believe it's both random. Just all rating 1. The propulsion is pretty fixed because there's only so much at rating 1, but even like with the wheels, sometimes you get 2 regular, sometimes you get 2 compact, sometimes you get 1 of each.
Okay, bud.
So I'm pretty sure it's just random within the rating 1 options for pretty much everything except the small storage. And it's just that because it's within rating 1, there aren't that many of them.
Where's the exit?
Eternal Mage says, I wonder if it's not uniformly at random. I feel like I don't see a regular wheel as 75% of the time you'd expect. But maybe it's using normal part generation rules. I don't know normal part generation rules, obviously. So, as mentioned, I'm going to say it at 276. But, yeah. So if you want to know normal part generation rules, Kizrati has a devlog post where he talks about part stockpile generation. And he talks about stuff like how many floors after a part is like on depth does it continue to show up, and all sorts of things like that. I don't remember the URL offhand, but you can go search for it on his devlog and see. Mouth says he reached -8 at 197 turns. So,
gimme.
Which.
And it's a meltdown.
Aww, meltdown. Says, we'll look into it, but probably not right now. There's this pretty neat Cogmind stream to watch. Yeah, for later.
Game? What? I can't use my mouse? Uh-oh. That's awkward. I can't see my mouse. My cursor just disappeared. Okay, I guess that's a fun thing. Yeah, no, it was accidental keyboard mode, but apparently you can't turn it off when you're in the selection menu thing for the next level.
So Destinim was replying to me sending him a message on the Discord server saying that this is accidental keyboard mode. So that has at least been resolved. -7 as we see 342 turns.
Oh, hold on, please. Oh, that would have been sick. Okay, well, that's not bad. Still free hacking suite, and a friend to blow it off, probably. That's useful too. No, oh, signal interpreter. That's super run saving.
So, Internal Mage, just so you know, the speedruns do have a tendency to spoil what the final exits look like, because they're generally done by players who have won a fair number of times before and know what those exits look like and how to get through them. And like they don't look like just stairways out in the middle of the hallway. Eternal Mage says, I have seen the normal exit once watching a friend play. Okay, just as long as you're aware that this can spoil those exits. In fact, it can also spoil the not normal exit too. And it can do that from like any direction, because there are a variety of different ways to get into the exits. So that all sorts of different builds can do that, and So you see different things
Do you
going
want
at
me to
it
go down
different
there?
ways.
If I get treed,
Plus, all of
that
those ways
means...
can
Okay,
be worked with on a
no
speedrun
exits.
build. So
Now let's
just
see if bots
be
come
aware of
from down
that.
here.
If you don't,
If they do,
if you don't want
furnace.
to see that, or for anyone else who doesn't want to see that, you can just stop watching when someone reaches access. It's not an issue until someone reaches access.
Oh yikes!
Eternal
This
Mage
is a
says,
waste
huh, I
of
am surprised at
gold.
not taking that cannon. I guess it's too heavy. Yeah, it's too heavy, and also there's not much use to it, because you don't actually want to fight, because fighting is
Yikes.
slow.
Okay, that means I
At
gotta
least
cross here.
for speedrun purposes, fighting is generally way too slow, and so it's very much a last resort. But, hang on. I'm going to reload this, see if that helps. If not, we have no stream.
What is that?
There
Is
we
that a
go.
sheep trap? Oh yikes. Okay, that means I gotta cross.
Eternal Mage says, presumably sometimes you have to fight a bit, but I guess missile launchers are way better at most of the mandatory fights, and EM cannons are garbage at programmers. For say normal flight play, yes, you take like a launcher and a melee weapon, but for not that,
Just taking the exit.
when you're speedrunning, fighting is
Okay.
so slow that generally you'd rather just take some damage, and basically either ignore the enemies or just path to
What just blew up?
avoid giving them line of sight.
The
So what just blew
Zeus
up is the
engine.
recycler's engine.
Amazing.
Uh,
Well, you know what? It's riskier. It's how I died last run, but we're gonna do it anyway.
Eternal Mage
Forward
says
we
you
go.
still have to fight pests, right, since pests. Sometimes you do, but
Oh, come on.
not only is it
I
slow,
hope today is gonna be the worst of the
ideally
stream
what you
because I'm
want
really
is to
tired.
have enough flight units going that you're faster than swarmers, because that also helps your turn
Well,
count,
it's
and
easy wins
then
now.
you can just break their line of fire, and you don't have to fight them. Uh, in case you do have to fight them, that's why Decinum is still
Yeah, I'm
carrying a
sorry.
launcher, and that's why you still see launchers get carried.
Because I gotta hop every single dude in this hallway.
And
A stasis trap.
pretty much
Are you for real?
everything else will be slower than you. Like even programmers are slower than core hover, though not by much. The only time you'd encounter like other enemies that aren't like slower than swarmers is or slower than core hover is stuff like saboteurs in the caves, or secret special enemies.
Okay.
And so yeah,
The worst thing that
uh,
happened. Okay, that's pretty
it's
bad.
generally not an issue. Like people will take melee weapons, in part for the sake of cutting through walls. In fact, in large part for the sake of cutting through walls, because you don't really want to fight. Uh,
Come on. Okay.
and that's why you see in the inventory 2 melee weapons and 2
Yeah, there we go.
launchers.
I'm dead.
Eternal Mage says, are saboteurs that thing that stole my engine once on stream?
No way.
Saboteurs are the part stealers, yes. Ooh, this is very nice. This is a good demonstration of how you want to just be faster than everything. Though, with no engine, Decinum cannot currently run all of these.
Okay, well, now everything has changed.
You see that he only has one of them on.
Put that on.
And now he has no propulsion armor to protect them. I would drop the hammer in favor of something else here, but a hammer is not that good as a melee weapon.
Really hope this is the right direction.
Turmach says, I think you don't need to tell me about cutting through walls. You remember my run rate. Yes, I do. I'm also just commenting in general for other people who are watching and are maybe not as familiar with speedrun strategy while answering your question is why.
Pretty terrifying, but we're alive.
The bots that steal your parts
-6 at 6:43 is not a good time.
are thieves. The bots that blow your parts off are saboteurs.
Okay. That's okay, though, because we're alive.
Malthus says he went into a garrison near the start of -7 and would have saved time doing it if he didn't get double exit locked. Moore says thieves are actually the worst for speedruns. New seed. It is indeed a new seed. We started over because Malthus won as the only official run still alive, and Bug Sniper wanted to join the races. Is this frozen? This might be frozen. Let me check by asking in the Discord. Yeah, see? Odysseus reports that he got a riff. So we'll see if that is any help to him.
Maybe not there.
The new seat is nice. We have an actual race again. Eternal Mage asks, was -7 just super fast, or did we skip it somehow? So it was not super fast. It was that entire wandering around in factory before and during storage. It's just we were talking. Termage says, oh wait, storage was after -7. Yes, it was. So storage can actually show up anywhere from -9 to -7 inclusive.
Like I'm just failing hack after hack after hack.
It's most commonly actually taken on -8 because there it's the only branch that shows up. But it can show in any of those places. In fact, Destin briefly showed his world map after exiting storage, and you could see there that he entered storage from -7.
I feel like I've gone like as far as I possibly can every time and does not help.
Eternal Mage says you can tell if it's mines either way, right? So with materials exit IDing, you can tell if it's main or branch for sure, because only main exits present with the 3-wide hallway and a dead end in it as it's starting setup. Yeah, look at the world map, see factory and then storage. So yeah, you can tell main or branch for sure, and then mines can be fairly clear by like having the mining equipment or stuff. So if it doesn't have the mining equipment, it's probably storage, but it may not be. Especially if it's on a floor where storage can't show, or if you've found out that storage is on another floor or something, then you know.
Is anyone in chat having problems while viewing the stream, or is it working out? Keep doing that. Okay, I need this to... Let's see if I can't get...
Yeah, more saying sometimes mines has non-fancy exits. They look like storage exits. Like the fancy mines exits are always mines.
Alright, well, we'll see if there are problems.
As it said, if it's non-fancy, it has a strong tendency to be storage, because most mines exits are marked with mining equipment.
Okay.
But to tell for sure, you have to have one of the ways of IDing exits, or you know by branch patterns.
Almost.
Because mines can show up only on -10 or -9.
Nope. Definitely not.
So if you see it on -10, as I was saying, you know it's mines because storage can't be there. If you see it on -8, it has to be storage because mines can't be there. Malthesis reports he's reached -5, 636 turns.
Upper caves, man. Ugh.
Yeah, main or branch, you know for sure. This is.
I don't know if I should do that or not. I feel like the answer is no.
This is why a lot of experienced players don't really bother with signal interpreters and materials, even though they know specifically, like, they want to go to a branch or they want to go straight out, because you can ID on site. And in factory and above, it's not guaranteed in the same way. Like, there are certain branches that sometimes present with fancy exits, and even some that like always present with fancy exits if they show up in certain places, but they don't always show up in those places. But for the most common ones, which are like caves exits and main exits, you don't like. There's some differences statistically, but not enough to really be sure.
Okay. Well, that's solved.
But materials you can straight up know.
Oh, man.
Stasis traps are not fun when speedrunning.
Okay. Maybe I should have just taken the cave's door, honestly. This is a bit worrisome. Okay. And he's faster than me. Well, that's nice. I don't care what door it is. I'm just gonna.
So we know that one's exit is not caves, and we knew that when we saw it, precisely because Destin had already ID'd caves. And once you ID a exit destination, like a specific floor or a specific set of caves or whatever, like the specific set of upper caves that would be on -5 in this run, any further exits to that same destination are recognized on site. In fact, this even crosses maps. Like if you say you're in factory and you ID the main exits, like the ones that go up, and then you decide to go into caves. From caves, eventually there will be exits, obviously, to that next factory floor, and those will be ID'd on site. And it says, also, all exits looking like that in factory are main exits. They're like the main materials exits, but big.
Alright, what are you?
usually at the end of a hallway, but sometimes they're against the wall like that. That's cool. I didn't know that.
Get me in there.
Eternal Mage says, do you prefer B-Sun, Sun,
-3
or no
at
preference?
9:27.
B-Sun
terrible.
is good. Some people also
Could be a lot better,
just
but
call me
just
B, and
preference.
that's fine. It says, hard to communicate through text
In all
about
honesty, that was
that
certainly
exit
almost killing
appearance.
me. I need to put in
Eternal Mage,
button.
look at the layout of that main factory exit. The one we just saw on stream that was set up that way. That's where it was
awesome.
just. It would have been in the end of a hallway, except for that open area that cut off the hallway really quickly.
Gamma bomb array.
Mike says the one with the sentry on it. No, not the one with the sentry on it.
For the specific reason, killing those plague dudes that are right over there. Ooh, hello. Please be researched. Yes, that's incredible. -295.
Eternal Mage says, I don't think I got a good look at this one. That one. Watching speedruns is a difficult skill. It is. Luckily, we have VODs for this, so you can go back and watch whenever you want. In fact, I do regularly take batches of my Twitch streams and upload them to YouTube for later reference and for anyone who wants to watch them later. Moore says, sometimes you will get exits like that one in research too, and they're always main exits. That's really useful to know that sort of pattern carries basically throughout the game, all the way up to but not including access where the exits are different. I didn't know that. I thought that was just a materials thing.
Okay, he hasn't called for... I was about to say he hasn't called for friends. But by doing that, I immediately jinxed it, and he found a friend.
Eternal Mage that says I might watch the VOD after, might just play a game after, might go collapse into a mage recharging station or something like that. Yeah, whatever works for you. It says usually the end of a large hallway one is at the edge of the map.
Ooh, that's actually kind of useful. Like these guys. How do I change this? Shoot.
Eternal Mage says, oh right, where's the map border config? I think I would like to have that on, but could not find it last game when I looked. It's not in the options, like not in the in-game options. I believe that it's an advanced config option.
Why can't I remember how to change this button? Hold on, sorry.
Specifically in the advanced file. It might be in the regular file, though. All the names are fairly clear about what they do, though, and I believe that which one it is also in the manual. So I don't remember offhand, but it should be findable through that.
I literally cannot remember how to do this button.
Moore says, there we go, I have a picture of one in research we'll show in spoilers later. So, Eternal Mage is not in the spoiler channel. Showing it in spoilers might be useful otherwise, but yeah, if you want to show him specifically, do it in PMs or in the general chat, depending on whether it's spoilery. I assume it is spoilery, or you would just show it in the regular channel.
press. That's a lot of dudes. Hey, buddies. Buddy pal. Gonna get the heck out of here.
Melt reports that he reached -2 at 1007 turrets. This particular seed is not really being all that kind or fast to either of our current racers. Bug Sniper reports that he will go as soon as he is set up enough to be able to chat, presumably with his with anyone chatting on his own stream.
Who was firing at each other? I'm a little confused about.
So yeah, we might watch one person and then the other. Eternal Mage says, I need a half a spoilers channel. So that actually happened once before. We used to have only the non-spoilers channel and a spoiler channel, but eventually it's wound up with a lot of people getting into like doing all the wind types and other super secret things, and so there was nowhere for people to like discuss mid-game branches and so forth without having to see that.
Oh yeah.
And so enough people said we would like an intermediate channel that the old spoiler channel was changed to what is now the redacted channel, where everything is up for discussion, and we have the intermediate spoilers channel.
Don't cut off my wings. Thanks very much. Goodbye.
It used to be just 2, and now it is not.
And is incredibly tempting. Yikes. Okay. Yeah, I'm going for it.
Many wings. Also much shooting.
Probably wasn't worth it, huh? I don't know.
Colonel Mage says, my current opinion of spoilers is that I do not care about mechanical spoilers of the main complex, materials branches, the caves branches, but don't want anything else spoiled. This makes a lot of sense, especially given like where you've been to or where you've not. One of my policies is that I won't watch anyone else go to an area like on a stream or a bot or anything else until I've been there at least once myself. For a while I actually used to stop watching streams at Access because I hadn't made it to Access. And nowadays, I've beaten the game, so I don't have to do that anymore. But I still stop watching, and people like go into command and stuff. Colonel Mage says, what I'm saying is technically slightly stricter than that. Yeah, it is, because you... yeah, you're saying you've been in A, but you don't want spoilers for it. Yeah, this is reasonable. No, that's definitely not my only policy. I was just giving examples.
This is not going too well.
And yeah, sometimes if I've only really briefly dipped into a place, or otherwise think that I haven't discovered enough of it.
I don't really understand what's up with the stream. I'll be back in about a minute.
I will still say I don't want spoilers for it, and often I will do other things too to avoid things that would still be spoilers to me from areas I have seen. So term which says is A the right abbreviation? So it's not for something that's not access. So there are two A branches. Unfortunately, they both start with AR.
Except me dying.
So,
man, so lucky. Oh, well, maybe not as lucky as I thought.
Identifying setup.
I'm not dead.
Yellow walls or red walls?
Not dead is certainly better.
Also note, this is a research branch area. If you don't want to see the research branches, don't watch this bit. We can ping you when he gets out.
Because I cannot move faster than those programmers. Until now. Man, I can't even run one of these things. Okay, I'm gonna...
Malthus says he reached -1 at 1,175 turns. Yeah, Destin was remarking that he can't run
That's like a triple yikes.
the experimental Q thruster on core. That is one of the very few thrusters where the Cogmind's core power can't run a single one indefinitely. Just because it is so very zippy and has, as a high-end thruster, it has higher upkeep and per move requirements, while Cogmind's core power generation doesn't scale with that.
Ah, shoot. This is not gonna go well. Oh, just kidding. Ha! Victory is mine. Give me an access. -1 at 1182. Seven turns behind the other guy. Malthusis is his name. Ah, shoot. Now I'm gonna have friends.
Where it says, experimental Q thruster, wow, this testing is a maze. Yeah, it was a maze.
I'm gonna get the heck away. Man, I've spawned on this side of them, on the right side of the map, on almost every single map. Except for testing, where you can't. But these Colossus, that's not anybody of importance. You don't need to look at me. Alright. That's not what I was hoping to see. But it's okay. It'd be real nice if I could find a good melee weapon in here, because barring that, I'm gonna need to be really lucky.
No melee into access is a bit painful, both for lack of wall chopping and for lack of special door chopping. Oh,
wow.
Nice. Right there.
Okay, gotta find a way around.
Need either a way around or a way to break through.
Gotta back up.
Where it says, wow, that's luck. Yeah. Malthus also said in the chat, basically the question is your build good, Destin? Presumably because he saw that the surface exit is right there.
I think that's what I gotta do. Yeah, because otherwise these dudes are just gonna keep chasing me. Hey. You see nothing? Nope, nothing. Shoot. Ah, yikes. Okay.
I am not clear on what he's intending to use to break through.
How do I get around? I'm actually kind of lost on how I'm supposed to get around to the
Moore says, oh, that's unlucky. Which part is unlucky? The operator or what?
And you can't go that way either. Amazing. What am I supposed
It
to
says,
do?
if it had wrapped around there, he would have been fine. The whole way not wrapping around the exit. Yeah, so it doesn't always wrap around the exit. In fact, I found that it's not like even super common. Generally, they
This is
come in two
ridiculous.
totally different directions, and if you want around the other end, you really have to work for it. Or it says most of the time it won't. Yeah. Eternal Mage says it took me a bit to get back, but back. Hi. Yeah. So we're back to watching in Access.
That might be where we've landed this run.
The research branches are relatively common entries for speedruns, simply because their exit layouts are fairly predictable. I won't say obviously what their exit layouts are and how they're set up, but they're predictable enough and often not super far away.
No, why did there have to be a garrison in that room?
So people will fairly often take them as a fairly guaranteed exit in some more turns rather than wandering around the maze that is research.
Awkward.
Eternal Mage says, I'm trying to remember what the other branch I was in was. Is EXT plausible? I feel like it was EXT. That is a plausible branch abbreviation, yes. We usually just call it E.
Right.
If it had yellow walls, it's definitely right.
This is not good.
Mouth says W0 in 1,350 turns, and also my first riff win.
Well, we used to have a ridiculous.
Or says, Rip, Destiny is dead, just lost his experimental Q thruster. Yeah, probably dead, since he's trying to go for command. Pretty much certainly dead, as far as I can tell.
Doing that.
Especially since he just locked out the terminal and he still has no way to get around. Pretty sure command would rip him to shreds, even having not been there.
Okay, well, now we have to go for a ridiculous.
Eternal Mage says, I do not remember the wall colors. I do remember getting an achievement, so this should be resolvable. Yeah, look in your achievements and that should tell you. Nora says, command might be survivable here. It might be, but we're not going to see that because if he goes in, I'm pausing the stream. Destinum says to Mouth, yeah, you beat me. Also, I'm not going to do another. The thing is, so Destinum is already over Mouth's time.
Still win the game.
He can still. So he can still complete the run if he wants, but he can't actually win the race. Eternal Mage says the achievement was called Prison Break. What was Prison Break? What branch was that? Where it says that's E. Yeah, that's E. Here you go. Eternal Mage says, oh, technically I've also seen ZDC and not died in there, surprisingly. Died in Proxcase because Proxcase. Moore says, well, that's impressive. Yes, correct, that is impressive.
Oh, that's no good. Hello, Ark. We're going around. Gimme over there. Is that a prototype flight? Yes, it is.
Eternal Mage says, I think I got 2 sets of allies in Z and took them in is what happened. That seems like it would help.
Let me just push them off. Give me that.
Eternal Mage says, tread speedrun meta. It's treads as propulsion armor.
Hey, friend.
That it is very useful in speedruns. Eternal Mage says he took a turn moving on treads to ram a bot. Yeah, because that's why I said that. Yeah, it is useful. It's just
Okay.
that's
Well,
for a side benefit of having the treads on. Where
useful.
normally it's for propulsion armor reasons. Oh, there we go. Got
Okay.
around.
Oh, should have paused it there. If you don't want spoilers, real quick on the end screen. Sorry about that. Didn't pause for notice, but this is the
Yeah,
W0,
if
your
you
first
want
possible win.
to not see ending, now is the time to hop out. Eternal Mage says, I guess I should alt tab for like 30 seconds. Yeah. Also turn the volume off for like 30
Yeah,
seconds.
not the worst. Puts me on the scoreboard for Beta 7, but could have been a
There
lot
we
better.
go. Desinum skipped the rest of the ending sequence.
Well, that's it for now, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and see you later.
So, if Bug Sniper actually gets a stream going, we will watch it. Otherwise, uh, we'll see it, because like theoretically Bug Sniper can still run and have a time, because it's typing in chat. We'll see what happens. And might beat Ralph, but like it's pretty clear who won between the two people we've already had race. Bug Sniper says, I'm going to switch from Streamlabs to OBS and see if that works. So we will see. Little Nog says, am I in time? So, I don't know. We might have another person doing this particular race, in which case you get to watch them. If not, like 2 out of the 3 racers have said, yeah, we're not doing another race, we're tired. So, in that case, just watch the VOD. But yeah, if we get another streamer in, then we will watch that one with commentary. The next says, aw, yeah, it is uh, not the greatest timing. But yeah, we might still get one, because Bug Sniper is still trying to run. We are having a bit of discussion in chat while we see if this uh, is going to happen or not. We will find out. Dustin says, if I had a good build for going through the front as in the front access door, I might have won, but I had to go way around. Yeah. I'm going to ask Bug Sniper if he has an estimate on how long it will take him to get set up. So hopefully we get a reply on that soon. Bug Sniper says, I don't think I'm going to do it today, sorry. So, yeah, that does mean this is the end of the stream because we have no more content. But thanks everyone for coming. Little Nog, do feel free to watch the VOD. Sorry for the poor timing, as much as I can do anything about that. Yeah, thanks everyone. I hope everyone enjoyed. It would be obviously nicer to have more people, but this was an unusual time and we hadn't done it for a few weeks. Hopefully next week we have more people join. Yeah, have a good night everyone.